Welcome into New York Giants Now by Chat Sports. And today's show, we have a Giants Rumors mailbag where we answer your questions, which aired from our live show on Wednesday at 3 p.m. Central, 4 p.m. Eastern. And today's show is presented by Aura. Shout out to them. An all-in-one digital safety tool that will help you protect yourself online from all the frauds and the scammers out there. You can get started today with a 14-day free trial at aura.com/chatsports. I'll have the link to that in the comment section and description of this video. But let's get things rolling off with my guy Anthony Raza. What's going on, man? He asked, we supposed to have $6.2 million left in cap space. We can perhaps assign a cornerback, but don't expect top shelf. Yeah, I 100% agree, Anthony. And you're right on the money. I don't expect Joe Schoen to go out and sign a cornerback that's really going to be asking for a lot of money. I mean, at this point in the game, with the corners that are still available, you got guys like Xavier Rhodes. You have guys like Kevin King from the Green Bay Packers. The players that are still available in free agency, they're not really going to cash in and get a lot of money. You can get one of those guys or someone that's still on the streets available for a 1-year veteran minimum type of deal, maybe $2 million, maybe $2.5, $3 million, and lace it with some incentives, some playing time incentives, and some performance-based incentives. I would like for the Giants to go out and add another veteran corner. Because when you look at this corner depth chart, there's a lot of rookies on this team. There's a lot of young guys, a lot of unproven talent on this team. That doesn't mean they can't get the job done. But I haven't seen it from them. And if you were to add a guy, maybe a veteran like Jimmy Smith that's been in the Wink Martindale defense, he could teach a guy like Aaron Robinson what it takes to play in this scheme. He could teach him this scheme. You have Rodarius Williams as well, who's young. Cordell Flott, he's a rookie. Darnay Holmes, he's entering his second year. Then you added some veteran guys like Maurice Kennedy, who's looking good in Giants OTAs. But to answer your question, Anthony, yes, I wouldn't be surprised if the Giants go out and sign another corner, but it's not going to be for a lot of money. Rosario Guzzo, what's going on, man? Can the Giants win 9 games? 100% the Giants can win 9 games. The Giants have one of the easiest schedules in the NFL right now. Based off of the 2022 Vegas win projections and what those look like, the Giants have the easiest schedule in the NFL. When you look at the Giants' schedule, there's a lot of winnable games. They can beat the Panthers. They can beat the Bears. They can beat the Jaguars. They can beat the Seahawks. They can beat the Texans. They can beat the Lions. They can beat the Commanders. They can beat the Eagles. You can split with the Dallas Cowboys. The Giants have one of the easiest schedules in the NFL. But to win 9 games, that means you have to have consistency, you got to be healthy, and you got to get better every single game. And Daniel Jones has to play like the player we thought he was going to be coming out of Duke when he was a first-round draft pick. I have faith in Daniel Jones. When I did my record prediction video, I had the Giants winning 9 games. I think the ceiling is 9 to 10 games, where the floor is 6 to 7 wins for the Giants this year. But I appreciate your question, my guy. Anthony C., what's going on? Should the Giants sign Kwon Alexander? That's a good question. I think that's a very fair question. The Giants' inside linebacker room, in my opinion, is one of the biggest question marks on this roster. I'm a big fan of Blake Martinez. He's a leader. He's a captain. But after that, there's question marks. There's the young guys, and we'll break that down. But when you look at what Kwon Alexander did last year in the NFL, where he played 12 games, he had 50 tackles, 7 tackles for loss, 3.5 sacks, and he also had 1 forced fumble. The thing I like about Kwon Alexander is he's an athletic linebacker that likes to play sideline to sideline, and he's someone that can also drop into coverage and give you a little bit of help there. Because when you look at this Giants inside linebacking depth chart, you have Blake Martinez, you have Tay Crowder. The thing is, I'm more convinced that Tay Crowder is a supplemental piece to a linebacker room instead of your starting inside linebacker alongside Blake Martinez. I like Carter Coughlin. I like Darian Beavers. I like Micah McFadden. Cam Brown is a good special teams piece. But if you can get another dog alongside Blake Martinez, whether that's Kwon Alexander or someone else in free agency, I think that group would elevate and it would be better for it and it would help the rest of the defense. I'm tired of seeing different players at that inside linebacker room. I want to go back to the days of Antonio Pierce, where the Giants were one of the best linebacking cores in the NFL. But I'll leave this question up to you, Giants fans. Should the Giants sign Kwon Alexander? Look, if it's for a 1-year veteran minimum deal, sign him up, bring him to camp, and let's have a competition. But let's hear from you. Type S for sign, or you can go down in the comment section and type P for pass. I want to give a shout out to today's presenting sponsor, Aura. They have an all-in-one digital safety tool to protect you online, because we do more online now than ever. They offer financial fraud protection, identity theft protection, online and device security protection, and they also offer family plans up to protect 5 people. And you can get started today with a 14-day free trial at aura.com/chatsports. Look, everybody knows we're online, our information is online, and you need to protect yourself online, because the scammers and the people out there that want to steal your information are getting smarter every single day, and Aura is a tool to help you and protect you from those people. So get started today. Aura.com/chatsports, a 14-day free trial. Look, if you don't like it, you can cancel at any time, absolutely 100% free. Anthony Raza with the super chat. My guy, I appreciate you. 5 bones. The best part of these New York Giants is Judge has 0 hands in it. I 100% agree. I love the fact that Joe Judge is no longer a part of this organization. I liked what he did in his first season as the Giants head coach. He brought some respectability back. They won some games they shouldn't have won. But he played a brand of football that I felt like just wasn't consistent, something that you couldn't duplicate. The Giants, they like to back into wins when Joe Judge was the head coach. They would punt on 4th down consistently. They would never go for the win. Sometimes you just got to lay it all out there and say, I'm the better football team, and I'm going to prove it today. Whereas Joe Judge said, I'm going to try to make less mistakes than your team did today and back into wins. I mean, after the Giants ran QB sneaks on 2nd and 8 and 3rd and 8, backed up against their goal line, I was out on Joe Judge. I'm glad he's gone, and I think it's pretty funny that he might actually be the offensive coordinator for the New England Patriots this year. Say a prayer for Mac Jones, because that's going to get pretty ugly if he's calling the plays on Sunday. Anthony, I appreciate the super chat. Naz, if Saquon can be healthy all year, can we make the playoffs? I'm not sure the 2 questions or the 2 things that you said really have correlation, because look, we're in a day and age of the NFL where you have to win games by converting 3rd and 8, converting 3rd and 10. And that comes down to the quarterback. But look, if Saquon Barkley gives you 17 games of healthy football this season, that will mean the Giants' offense is better. That makes life for Daniel Jones better. Because look, when you have a healthy Saquon Barkley, Daniel Jones, excuse me, can just dump it off into the flat, and Saquon can get loose. This is someone you want to get the ball to in any way, shape possible. Handoffs, dump passes, screen passes. I'm expecting Saquon Barkley this year to be used more so as a receiver. Brian Daboll has talked about that. So don't be surprised when you see Matt Breida and Saquon Barkley on the field at the same time, with Breida in the backfield and Barkley split out as a wide receiver. I do think, though, Naz, if Saquon gives you 17 games of healthy football, this will be one of the best years of his career, because this is going to be by far the best offensive line he's run behind, with Glowinski, Andrew Thomas, and Evan Neal. Naz, I appreciate your question, my guy. Randy J, what up, bro? Do you think Jashaun Corbin will make the roster? Jashaun Corbin's the undrafted free agent running back out of Florida State, who had Brian Daboll singing the praises of him in rookie minicamp. I'm a big fan of Jashaun Corbin. He somewhat reminds me of Ahmad Bradshaw, a 6-foot running back, 200 pounds, that some people might say, look at him, that's a scat back. Not at all. Corbin is a downhill runner that likes to get those dirty yards, run in between tackles, and run through arm tackles. When you look at this Giants running back depth chart, Saquon Barkley is RB1. Matt Breida, he's going to be RB2. After that, it's a question mark. Is Gary Brightwell going to make this roster? The former 5th-round pick out of Arizona last year under Dave Gettleman. We really didn't see a lot from him. He only contributed a little bit on special teams. Antonio Williams, he was at rookie minicamp for the Giants. He has some ties to Brian Daboll and Joe Shane due to his time in Buffalo, but he's not a rookie, so he's competing for a roster spot as well. If Jashaun Corbin goes into preseason and shows that he can run hard, I think there's absolutely a chance that he can make this roster as the Giants' 3rd running back. I also like the fact that he can contribute on special teams. He's a kick returner, and he's a punt returner, and he's been working on those skills at minicamp and at OTAs so far. But if the 3rd running back spot comes between Gary Brightwell and Jashaun Corbin, I want you Giants fans watching this video to make the call. Which one makes the roster, in your opinion? Type GB for Gary Brightwell, or you can down in the comment section and type JC for Jashaun Corbin. And look, once the Giants start to make moves with the roster, if they sign any more free agents, if they make any more cuts, we are going to be breaking it down on this channel, youtube.com/NYGiantsTV. Look, free daily videos around the latest Giants news and rumors. We are pushing out more content than anybody else when it comes to covering the Giants. So join us, lock us in, hit that big red button. We're at 9.3 thousand subscribers, and I want to get to 10K as soon as possible. We're 630 away. So if you haven't yet, go hit that big red button and help us get to 10,000 subscribers here on Giants Now by Chat Sports. Timothy Frith, one of the most awesome commenters on the channel. He's always got cool situations and very long comments. I appreciate it, Timothy. I love reading those. But yeah, should the Giants trade Darius Slayton and a 2023 first rounder to the Ravens for Marcus Peters? I would say no. I would not make that trade. I like Marcus Peters a lot. I think he's one of the most fun corners in the NFL. I like the aggressive nature and the ball hawk type of style he plays. But he's a 30-year-old cornerback coming off a torn ACL. And for a corner that relies on a position that relies on quickness, athleticism, and burst, to already be 30 and coming off an ACL injury, in my opinion, is not worth giving up a 2023 first-round pick, because you could use that pick next year to go get one of the better corners in that draft. That's a position the Giants need help at for sure, so I understand your thought process there, Timothy. But at the end of the day, giving up a first-round pick for Marcus Peters doesn't really make all that much sense to me and for the current state of the New York Giants. And he's on the last year of his deal, so you'd have to give him a big contract extension as well as giving up a first-round pick. I'm out on that deal, but I appreciate it, Timothy. Mr. NY Stadium, BD4, what's going on, man? Love seeing you in the comments section. Do you think Kayvon Thibodeaux will be a better defensive player than Micah Parsons? The Giants fan in me says damn right he is. Kayvon Thibodeaux is going to be better than Micah Parsons. But I'm going to have to see it on Sundays before I go out on a limb and say I guarantee it. Because what Micah Parsons did in his rookie year, where he had 13 sacks, and he just defied what rookies are supposed to do in their first year on the defensive side of the football. I mean, he did everything. He lined up on the edge. He lined up at inside linebacker. He did absolutely everything for the Cowboys. Him and Micah Parsons, Kayvon Thibodeaux are different players. Thibodeaux, he's going to line up on the edge every single snap of his career for the Giants, and he's going to be asked to go after and get the quarterback. That doesn't mean I don't think he's going to be a great player, because I do think Thibodeaux is going to be a great player. The thing is, Micah Parsons might just be the best defensive player in football, but I could see Kayvon Thibodeaux going for 10 sacks in his rookie year, Mr. NY. Last question in this mailbag from Slippery Sam. What position will be the biggest need in the 2023 NFL Draft? #Giants. I think it's going to depend on what's going to come and play this year. If we can see a big improvement from the interior offensive line, from the left guard spot and the center spot, I would lead at the cornerback room, for the simple fact that there's really not a lot of proven talent in that room. I'm a big fan of Adoree Jackson, but is he ready to be a cornerback one? Travel and guard opposing wide receiver ones week in and week out. Is Aaron Robinson ready to be a cornerback too, after being a third-round pick, picked in the third or fourth round last year out of Central Florida, was a slot corner. Now he's going to be asked to play on the outside. I like Darnay Holmes. I don't know if he's a long-term starter. Cordell Flott, I have to see what he's going to be able to do this year after being selected in the draft this past year out of LSU. I have high upside and I have high thoughts for this cornerback room, but in next year, say you have a top 15 pick, top 20 pick in the NFL draft in 2023, and there's a great corner on the board, go out and take him. But we have to remember, Joe Schoen is taking the best player available on the board every single time when he's in the NFL draft. So while I would go after a corner, if there's a better outside linebacker, a better safety, a better wide receiver on the board, I wouldn't be surprised if Joe Schoen makes that move. But we'll end this mailbag with this question, Giants fans. What position group on the roster are you most worried about for the 2022 NFL season? Let me know in the comments section, and I'll see you later on the next New York Giants Now.